Oscar BEVIS for IFL TV in association with MTK Global down at the Matchroom Elite Boxing Gym here today. Joined by Mr. Ted Cheeseman. Ted, how are we?
Yeah, all good, mate. You?
Good. Good to get back to it. Get the mic and the camera back out and get rid of the Zoom interviews. We didn't catch up with you over the break. How was a break for you in the last couple of months? Obviously, away from the boxing gym for boxers in general, I can imagine it's just a pain in the arse.
Yeah, to be honest, for me, I managed to sort out facilities for boxing, strength. Obviously, I could run on the road. So I've just been in camp the whole time, and it's been the best possible time for me, as there's just been completely no distractions. I've been fully focused on boxing. I've been able to change a lot of things, of lifestyle things, because we've had a long period of times where stuff you'd usually do, you ain't having to do it. So habits have changed and stuff. So it's been a lot better for me, and I'm looking forward to hopefully being successful on August the 1st, and then taking all these new sort of lifestyle habits and the way I've trained for this fight and the way I've treated this camp into following camps after this.
So I don't want to bring up the past too much, but credit to you, you've been open about some of the struggles you've had, and I was sort of going to ask you that I know you said it's been a positive time for you, but with the struggles you've had in the past, is a lot of time to think perhaps, and not a lot of time where you have a set date for a couple of months. Is that sort of not bad for someone like you, but can that also be a bit dangerous as well at times?
For me now, it's like it was a refreshing time, because a lot of my time in boxing, I've never ever really had a long rest, you know what I mean? And obviously I had a big long camp for March the 28th, and then at the start lockdown, when no one had a clue what was going on, I had time to sort of refresh my body, refresh my mind, sort of forget about boxing for a bit, while we was in limbo, not knowing if it was going to be fighting until 2021. But then as soon as obviously the stuff got mentioned to me, I sorted out my training facilities and got my head fully on it, because it was, as I said earlier, the easiest time possible for me. There's nothing else to do other than spend time with your family and train. So it's a really good time to sort of work and invest in myself a bit and work on my career and pushing on in my career.
You're not opening the show, you're opening the main event, the Fight Camp 1 is called. Did you have to push for that? I mean, I can imagine Eddie wanted to get you out, because it would have been 10 months since you've been in the ring in last October. So did you have to push for that, or was it something that Eddie said, look, he approached you, Ted, we want to get you out and we want to fight of the magnitude that you've got?
Yeah, I had a fight obviously before the Egan fight was planned. I won't mention the opponent's name. And obviously it was a good fight. It weren't obviously as exciting as what Sam Egerton was. And obviously I think Conor Benn was going to be topping the first bill versus Chris Jenkins if the fight was made. But where it weren't made, I was obviously, once the Egerton fight got offered to me, or was mentioned, I sort of was pushing with Tony, saying like, look, make this fight. I don't really care about the other fight. It's not got nothing, no gratitude like what this fight's going to have. And I'm really want that fight. I'm excited to have that fight. I know I'm training hard, but that will just give me even more of an extra boost, you know what I mean? Because I know by winning that, I'm pushing myself to where I want to be, and it gives you extra motivation. And then as soon as obviously the fight was sort of agreed, when Conor and Chris Jenkins never got made, we got moved to the first show. And I think at first, the first show was meant to be on the 25th of July, but obviously there was things happening, and then it's now the 1st of August. But like you say, I'm really excited to be topping the bill on the first show. It's sort of a bit like guinea pigs, because it ain't even like we can message the BT fighters and say, how is it in isolation when you're in the hotel, and because it's a whole different setup. We're the first people, like if we was the second or third show, we could be texting fighters and saying, oh, what was it like? Could you do this? Could you do that? We can't, so we're the first people. So everyone's asking the questions. What do you think it's going to be like? But you can't give no answers. Obviously, it's a guessing game. But you just got to sort of roll with the punches, take it all in, and enjoy the experience.
Yeah, because you are as well part of history. People look back and say, how did boxing cope with sort of the pandemic, and how did it return? And obviously your Matchroom's big return. The fight now with Sam, I mean, people are saying, oh, it's going to be an all-out war, it's going to be this and that, punches going to be thrown, punches going to be taken, but Is that a simple way of looking at the fight? Is there more to it than that? Are we just saying it's going to be a war without looking at the fact that, you know, you mixed it up against Scott last time and showed that you can box on the back foot, and that, you know, it might not just be an all-out war and we're not giving it credit for the fight, it actually could be?
Yeah. Listen, I think no matter what, at this fight, there's going to be points where it's going to be a war. It don't matter, well, whether it's a war or whether we're trading punch. It's going to come to that. You know what I mean? At a point of the fight, I'm not saying it's the whole fight may be like that. Maybe it might be, but you don't know until you obviously get in there and you see the first and second couple of rounds, see the way it's going. You don't know, but obviously the way Egerton fights, he's in a force for a war. I like to have a war. There's going to be points where you can't hide and you're going to have to stand there, and I'm looking forward to that because I just feel I'm a better all-round fighter than Scott. I can fight good, I can box good, and I just think I'm just that little bit fresher, a little bit better. And obviously Scott's took a lot of risks. Not Scott. Sam's took a lot of risks and had some good wins, some bad defeats. But I think 2019 gave me a lot of experience. I've got a lot of knockbacks. What sometimes I felt a bit hard done by. Sometimes it was my own fault. But I've pushed past that. I've mentally got past that. I'm in mentally the best place I've been for a long while, for years. The best physical shape I'm in since being pro. And obviously as fighters we always say that, oh, we're in great shape. But I know this camp, with a lot of the stuff I've worked on with Tony, to just being on stuff like the Strava app with Tony and him tracking my runs, setting me times and distances and average paces and stuff. It's like I know I'm in the best physical shape. My times on the sprint sessions, my way I'm performing, inspiring and everything. So I'm just looking forward to going to perform now on fight night. You know what I mean? The hard work's nearly done. I'm really fit, and I know I've got a good, strong, hard and fast-paced 12 rounds in, and I've always had that. But I've got that little bit extra. Plus, I haven't had the distractions. I'm mentally 100% right. Last year, as much as I was sort of recovering, I was still not mentally 100%. As I said, I was recovering. So you're dealing with recovering from stuff, from an addiction, and getting your head right from massive fights, like 2 big fights. So it's hard in that time. It don't just happen overnight. And I've had a year and a bit now since doing all my stuff I've been doing to help me recover, and I just feel I'm in the right place now mentally, and I'm in the best place physically. So I think everyone should be ready for a massive performance off me on August the 1st.
We look forward to seeing the Ted Cheeseman V2, we'll call it, Ted Cheeseman 2.0. You had your virtual press conference with you and Sam, and I think one thing I took from it was that you said that you feel like he's very financially motivated. Of course, it is prize fighting, you've got to earn your money, but you said that whilst he's looking at the financial side of things and trying to get these big fights, you're seeing him as perhaps a big fight which can lead to a bigger fight and a bigger fight, and you've still got world title dreams. So you feel like your motivation is perhaps one up on his?
Yeah, 100%. The thing is with Sam, he's had his losses. Obviously, every fight with him now is like I said, it's all about the financial side. With me, obviously I'm not going to sell myself short, but my main regret after all my problems I had was worrying that in 10 years, 15 years time, I'm going to regret that I made mistakes and that I never fulfilled my potential. And now my main goal is fulfilling my potential, and that's why I think the motivation and the determination is there, because I'm not just worrying about fights for pushing on to think if I beat him I'm going to get this money to fight him, or I'm now thinking about beating someone to get the fight, to get to the position I want to get to in my career. It ain't, say I retire at 30, between 30 and 80 there's 50 years, and hopefully like an average age sort of people live to, you got 50 years to go and earn as much money as you want. Obviously, like I said earlier, I'm not going to sell myself short, but the main aim ain't the money no more, which what took over my mind mentally, and that's why I had the addictions and stuff. That was the mental game of that. It was all about the money and pushing and rushing. Now there's no rush. I'm still young. I can go at the pace my manager and my coach wants me to go at, and it's all about investing in myself, making myself the best fighter I possibly can be and the best version of me there can be, and pushing on and getting as far as I can in my career.
I want to talk about the man smashing the bag over there. Looks like, just give me the eye there, looks like he might potentially be in for the biggest fight in boxing. What a buzz that is, one, for this gym, and two, for obviously John, who's last time out had a tough defeat. Yeah, how big is that?
It's great because, like, obviously when I had my knockbacks last year, I know how it felt, and it's my knockbacks were at British title level, but to be fighting for the Ring Magazine belt and the WBA Super Bowl title, you know what I mean? It's like when you feel you've won, you've put in all them years of boxing. Is because like John is like an older, he's a veteran really of the gym. You know what I mean? He's invested a lot of time into the sport. He's done his hard fights, done his apprenticeship fully, and he deserved to be world champion. And he never got the decision. But now, hopefully, with a bit of justice, he gets this Canelo fight, and it'll be great for the gym. It'll be great for him, and I think he deserves it.
How does John go in there and beat Canelo? Because we saw it with the likes of Rocky Fielding. There's a difference between stepping up to world and, you know, when you fight Canelo, you're not stepping up to world, you're stepping up to elite. Yeah, super elite. You know, people talk of him as pound for pound 1 or 2. How does John go in there and not just live with Canelo, but also go in there and beat Canelo?
The thing is, I think before, everyone was talking about Callum Smith being world and super elite, you know what I mean, and pound for pound, and John went in there, and as I thought, and a lot of people thought, John won. So it shows what level John is, and I think what a lot of people don't realise about John is, like, I've been in the gym years, and listen, you can pick him off maybe at some point, but I've never ever seen one fighter bully him, you know, and bully him around the ring, and him look rugged and like he shouldn't be in there, and it's a rough spar, you know what I mean? And I just feel he's got a lot of experience sparring top fighters from a young age, having big fights, and he's got a lot of valuable experience. And the main thing John's got to do is go in there, the best version of him again, and give it his all. And giving it his all, no matter whether he wins, draws or lose, that's all that matters. He's reached his pinnacle of his career, and it'll be the bonus to go and win the fight.